Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. So I'm about to release another song in the next few days.
March 18, 2019, heard my nigga died and my vibe went mean. Mine grew sad and I felt like shit. Don't wanna believe my homie died like this. Like he all alone, like he ain't love. But I know aside for a fact that he was. Cause
And my routine and plan lately has been to release a pre-vlog, behind the scenes type vlog as related to the video before I release it. So this next video and the accompanying vlog, I feel like might be the most difficult one for me to make.
Love, if you above, just know you left a mark on me. I ain't the only one, no, it ain't hard to see. Everyone here at the party was talking about you. Don't think you understand, hardly see all of that love.
As you guys may or may not have heard from my previous vlogs about my most recent videos, this entire album that I just released last week was almost entirely mixed, mastered, storyboarded, directed, shot, edited by myself. I've been a full-time videographer for more than 5 years now. Before that, I dabbled in some audio engineering and have always just had a passion for art and music. And the album before this most current or most recent one, I actually produced, as well as mixed, mastered, directed, edited nearly all the songs and all the videos for both albums. This song that I'm about to release next is called A Song for Bear. And as you guys can see, so this song is about a friend of mine that passed away, and it's hard to believe it's been almost 6 years. I can't say I've had a lot of best friends through my life, but Bear, Kevin Prophet, was truly one of the best friends and human beings that I was ever lucky enough to meet. He was a really good friend to me, to my cousin, and to a lot of our circle growing up. And I think I knew him since I was in high school, probably about 16 years old, maybe even a little bit younger. But many years of friendship, of camping trips, of just hooking up, freestyling, being involved in all of our different family events. I truly have some really great memories growing up with him and getting to know him. Hard to believe that it's been around 6 years or so since he passed away. Once he did, surprisingly, I don't think I ever got all the full details of exactly what happened, but I believe it was related to addiction, which is something that I've struggled with in my own life as well. I think when somebody passes away in those circumstances as a friend, you can always have a lot of regrets, and I definitely do. I didn't really know that he was struggling with what he was struggling with at the time, and I feel like I know that I could have done more to help him if I'd have known exactly what he was struggling with at the time. The video starts off, I believe, with footage of me and him at one of my first hip-hop shows where I was performing, and he was actually like my first hype man at my first hip-hop show that I did. And you know, he was super down for it. A couple weeks leading up to the show, you know, he was listening to the songs, memorizing them so he could be a good hype man for me. And it was a really fun show, and I was very appreciative to have him be there for me, to be my hype man and just support. As you could see from the tattoos in some of the footage, I believe, beginning of the video, once he passed away, me and a group of friends all decided to go get matching tattoos with his name and a bear claw to represent his nickname. His real name was Kevin Prophet, and we all called him Bear. I actually am disappointed that I never got it finished because I actually wanted to get a few other things added to the tattoo, but it was a very last minute thing. Found out some friends were all headed down to the tattoo shop in honor of him to all get the matching tattoos. So I went, didn't have much time to really think about it, but I intended on getting some of the lyrics that I wrote about him above the tattoo and kind of adding on to it, but just haven't got around to doing it yet. I guess with all the things going on in life, these last couple of years, tattoos haven't necessarily been a first priority, but I still want to give that extra bit of love to him by adding on to the tattoo soon. But yeah, Bear was an awesome human being, super funny, super honest, very caring for sure. I don't think you really would guess him to be a self-conscious person. Never really seemed that way until, you know, you got to know him and he opened up and just had some really dope human qualities that I can't say I've really found or noticed in a lot of other individuals in my life. But everyone that knew him, all of our friend group, all of my family, just considered him such a good, solid human being. Great sense of humor, very honest, super funny, just a really dope all-around human being, man. And I hope I truly hope that he felt loved in that last year or so of whatever he was struggling with, because we all definitely loved him so much. And I hope that this short song is a good representation of that. Lastly, the way the song ends is just a voiceover recording or whatnot of all of us just messing around in the car with a friend, freestyling, just doing the usual things we would do for fun. We had one of our homegirls, I think, in the back seat of the car. We're all just playing instrumentals and freestyling back and forth. And I hope he's, you know, it wasn't our best work by any means, but it was just a voice recording clip that I happen to have on me that I'm very grateful that I had to use in the song. Hopefully he's not mad at me, because I know it's not his best work by any means. You know, he could freestyle freestyle with the best of them, and it was always, I have some great memories of just freestyling in cars and walking around and, you know, long drives to the Bay Area, just really chopping it up and having a good time with them. But you can hear the voiceover recording, I believe, in the end of the song. So I just wanted to kind of explain what that was. So as for the shoot, you know, he had so many friends, man. And I was a little disappointed we couldn't get quite as many people together for the video. You know, it's understandable. Everyone has busy schedules, of course. But I picked a spot that I thought would be good at American River in Sacramento. I printed up a whole bunch of pictures for him. Me and a few friends drew up some stuff to show him respect on some boards and wrote his name and printed up a lot of pictures of old events and memories that we had together throughout the years. And there was this cool spot at American River where, as far as I know, an older guy, maybe in his like 60s or 60 plus, he made this big rock formation. And I thought it was just like some pretty cool scenery to do the video at, and figured, you know, the tent, from what we heard, Bear passed away in a tent at the river, actually. So that was even more representative of why we did it there. And the fact that this really cool rock formation layout was there just kind of added something to it. So we went out and got a tent and we put the boards together and the crosses and just the props of the decorations, and had a few of his close friends come. My cousin, one of them, some of our clamper friends were there. And so that's kind of how it all came together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about part of the outro of the song. So in the song, I say, I wish I could teach you all I learned, how there's more to life than getting burned, how there's more to life than just getting by, and so much more than just getting high. And what I meant from that, and you know, actually this is completely unintentional, but I'm wearing a recovery shirt from, it's either AA or NA. So unless I'm mistaken, this was actually completely unintentional. I just happened to grab a sweatshirt before I came, but I believe this is the sweatshirt that I got from recently attending an NA event with my current partner and some friends who are involved in AA and NA. And I'm not directly involved. You know, I've attended a few meetings, but I've struggled with addiction for a good chunk of my life. And I've also experienced long periods of sobriety. And when I made this song, you know, for the past maybe 5 to 7+ years, I got myself into a really good place of sobriety and really finding a lot of love in health and fitness and well-being. You know, having a special needs son and having him full-time, having sobriety and healthy outlets in my life has been necessary, and it's been extremely beneficial. And for the past 5 to 7 years, I've been just about 90% sober. I found a really healthy place in my life to be where, you know, I might have a celebratory drink maybe once every 1 to 3 months, and it would literally just be 1 or 2 drinks every 3 months. I really stopped numbing and medicating myself through substances a long time ago. And just to have as much transparency as possible. Up until recently, and I mean like the last 6 months, maybe to 8 months, I've struggled a little bit myself with re-implementing weed back into my life. After being completely sober for over 1.5 years, not touching any alcohol, not touching any weed or any substances, I started implementing a little bit of weed back into my life. And I started implementing a little bit of kava and kratom into my life. And it's not an excuse, but I've really been looking for something to numb the pain from my autoimmune condition and the recent life struggles I've been going through. Whereas for more than 5 years, it was completely against my beliefs to really do anything like that. I found all the relief, all the dopamine. I found everything I needed through creativity, and more importantly, I think through health and fitness, through running, through doing ultra marathons, through doing Spartan events, through training jiu-jitsu. And the last couple of years, I developed an autoimmune condition and have been just up and down sick consistently for, you know, about 2 years. And the last year especially is when it started getting really difficult. So I started leaning into things like kava and kratom. I was never a heavy weed smoker, but I grew up for most of my life being a heavy drinker and partaking in other harder substances growing up, as did my mother and my stepfather and a lot of people in my life. But yeah, for more than 5 years, I found myself in a really healthy place, and where the only time I would have a drink is a celebratory thing. I learned that it was never a good idea to drink when I was in a bad place, to smoke, to do anything when I was in a bad place. If I made a big accomplishment that I was proud of, I could have a drink and learn to really savor it, be present with it. If it's one drink, if it's one shot of tequila, to just be very present, be grateful that I could do this, and just, you know, have a little relief in a celebratory drink. Totally different relationship than what I had with alcohol for the first, 20 or so years of my life before having my son. So I wish I could teach you all I learned, how there's more to life than getting burned, how there's more to life than getting by, more to life than just getting high. Was just, I wish that we were closer the last few years before he passed away, and my life and what I was doing, I wish it could have had more of an influence on you know, especially him and those in my life, because there's so much more to life than just getting high every day. And there's so much more to life than drinking every day. Having healthy outlets is so important to that. And music over the years really helped me in that aspect. Health and fitness really helped me in that aspect. So as I said, once I got too sick to where training became extremely difficult, it had all these negative impacts on my body, my ability to run marathons. I really, at first, you know, for a long time, I was still able to train, and I was able to get through any hard time of my life. I was able to switch my perspective through running. You know, I could wake up as depressed as can be. You know, I have a lot of things. I've struggled with depression since I was very young. Being a full-time father to a special needs son has definitely carried its weight and difficulties, and health and fitness always got me through. It didn't matter how depressed, how sad, what kind of a dark place I was in, I could run it away. I could train it away. You know, I used to be able to write it away and find some purpose in whatever struggle I was going through. So yeah, since losing one of my biggest outlets, I've tried to do my best. You know, I can't run some days, but I walk. Sometimes I walk for 2 hours a day. You know, I took a break from writing, as I've discussed in some of my older vlogs. I've explained why I did that, and I think it was a huge mistake. I think we all need some type of meaningful, creative outlet for ourselves, and we need to have a sense of purpose, and that's so important in this life, especially for a creative person. I believe for all of us, but especially for someone who considers himself a creative person. It's so important to have that outlet. Me taking a break from music, me dealing with the health stuff, all contributed to it just being so hard to cope without those outlets that I utilized for so long, through such a long period of my life, since being very young. So that's what those lyrics really mean. I wish that just the lifestyle I was living, I wish it could have reflected better upon him. I wish there was more I could have done. I hope he knows, if he's out there somewhere, how much everybody really loved him, how much of an impact he had, how much we just appreciated him as a person. Man, even still, everybody, you know, so many people love to say all the nice things about when someone passes, but man, he was just so much different. He was so solid. He was so caring just as a person. And I really regret that he is not around anymore, because I could really, man, bro, I could really use a friend like him in my life right now. So there's a little glimpse as to what the song is about. I hope that he would have liked it if he was around. I hope that wherever he's at, maybe he can hear it, and hope that it's okay with him. If you're out there, you're watching this video and you're struggling with addiction, if you're struggling with any of these things, you know, like I said, I'm struggling with it too, but I've had long periods where I didn't, and I really found a point in my life, not being really a religious person, where I really felt close to my spiritual power. I felt so close to God, really, which was always rare for me to say. But for a long time, I considered myself agnostic, and sometimes maybe my belief was even less than that. I don't know. But when I'm at my strongest in my life, when I'm doing all the things I need to do, when I have purpose with all aspects, when I try to be very conscious of my actions and what I do and move with integrity, that's when life has really been at its best, when I feel the most spiritual, when I feel the most connected to the universe, to my creator, to my son, to myself. And I regret that even now that I'm struggling to find those things while dealing with these health challenges that I'm dealing with. I regret feeling weak enough to try to lean into like kava and kratom and possibly, you know, smoking again, because I know that there's better outlets. And I still train every day in whatever form I can, even if it's just walking. I still walk every day, have a physical thing to clear my head, a form of meditation. And getting back into writing for the first time in 2 years has really helped too. And the more I do that, the better I tend to feel, to get some of my emotions out there and my thoughts out there and all the things I'm going through. As you know, the tattoo on my chest says, wisdom through suffering. It's about finding purpose through all the things that we're going through. That's why I make the health and fitness videos that I make, talking about the autoimmune condition I've been dealing with. That's why I made the music that I make. Almost all the music I make, really, I make to try to find some type of purpose to what I'm going through. And I think that if you can find a purpose through whatever struggle, whatever stressor, your worst life circumstances, if you can find a way to find some purpose in that, even if it's just sharing your story so that others who have also gone through it can just to feel like they're not alone. I think that that in itself has a massive benefit. There really can be purpose in whatever we are going through. So I just encourage anyone to try to utilize some of the things that I just mentioned to get through what they're going through. For all the friends that helped with the video, I really appreciate you guys being there. For anyone that ever knew Bear, it was so many people. I hope that you guys are okay with the song that I wrote. I know it's a little personal and it's always a conflicting thing, but you know, the song touches on the facts of everything that happened. I really loved Bear and still do. I hope anybody watching enjoyed the song and enjoyed the vlog. And as soon as this vlog snippets and the full vlog is out, I should be releasing the song the next day after. Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate you. Hope to catch you on the next one. Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace. Love you, bro.